Welcome to United Tools TV. I'm Dwayne from Oz Tool Talk, and I'm here to tell you about Bosch's brand new compact sabre saws. This is the GSA 18 VLI-C, and I presume the C is for compact, and this is the GSA 10.8 VLI. So Bosch already have a full-size reciprocating saw in their 18-volt platform. This is the new form factor for them. We have seen it in Milwaukee's sabre saws before. So I'm really glad that Bosch have brought this over. It's a one-handed sabre saw. You can easily put two on it, but it can be used one hand and at arm's length quite comfortably because it is quite small and light. This is only 400 millimeters long and 2.5 kilograms. So very, very comfortable. It's got 3,050 strokes per minute and a stroke length of 21 millimeters. In terms of its rated depths of cutting, for wood they've rated it at 200 millimeters, which is a massive cut, and for metal pipes and such 100 millimeters. This is the 10.8 volt version, and it is just a whole nother level of tiny. Only 286 millimeters in length, but 1.2 kilos. So it really is a baby. It's it's like the weight of an impact driver with a small battery on it. So it has a strokes of 3,000 per minute SPM, which is quite high, but it does have a much smaller stroke length at 14.5 millimeters. Rated to cut wood up to 65 mil and metal pipes up to 50 mil. So very different targets, these two tools, but let's see how they go. I'm going to jump straight into the testing and find out what each of these is good for. Alright, just to get straight into the testing, I'm going to show you both tools in the same tests here, so you can make up your mind as to what you think the right job for each tool is. Obviously the 18 volt is going to be faster in all the applications, but that doesn't mean that the 10.8 volt isn't going to be fantastic for some. Electrical conduits, just so easy for the 10.8, getting such tight spots. Such a light one-handed unit, makes a lot of sense. Got some 19 mil pine boards here, primed boards, and again this is a really easy task for any saw, and the 10.8 volt sabre saw does this very easily, and it's actually quite a clean cut compared to a big 18 volt tool. So that was quite useful, I thought. And again, it's just about showing you what these tools can and can't do. 18 volt sabre saw is just chewing through this primed pine, of course, very easily. Alright, now we're onto some metals. So I've just got some 1/2 inch copper pipe here, copper tube, which is a little bit harder than timber to get through. The 10.8 volt tool here does take a little bit of time especially to get its teeth sunk in, just to get the cut started. Once it gets started, it's quite easy, but to be able to do that one-handed at arm's length is quite nice. The 18 volt sabre saw really makes mincemeat of this. It's not really a challenge whatsoever. All using the same blades. Yeah, that's an easy task. What I've then done is tried to cut from the underside, just imagining the tricky spots that plumbers and sparkies and things might have to get in and reach in and cut from the underside. I expected the 10.8 to be easier because it's so much lighter, but really at the end of the day I preferred using the 18 if you can get to it, because it does it so much faster. That means it's more comfortable. Alright, so now I've just got some 10 mil steel rod, which is probably as much as I would ask of the 10.8 volt tool. The 18 is doing this quite easily. You could use this 18 volt, I think, to cut through Rio and such as you needed. But the 10.8 really takes a while to get through this. So I'd only be doing this at a pinch. I wouldn't be buying the 10.8 volt sabre saw just to be cutting through solid steel very often. Right, I'm going to cut through some pine here now. This is just a pine stud that's been sitting out in my backyard getting a bit wet. I just first wanted to show you how quickly I can get through it with a handsaw to illustrate that these Sabre saws are not the fastest cutters in solid timber. The 18 volt, as you can see here, is not struggling at all, does it just fine, but it's still probably not quite as fast as doing it with a sharp handsaw. The 10.8 volt, this is really pushing the tool now. I wouldn't be using this to cut through plain studs unless I had to, because it's quite slow and not much fun. You don't really want to be using Sabre saws or reciprocating saws more than you have to, because they do vibrate. So anyway, it gets the job done, but this is as much as I would ask personally of the 10.8 volt Sabre saw from Bosch. And this is the last test that only the 18 volt I'm going to show you. This is just cutting through a standard treated pine sleeper, 200mm by 50mm. And as you can see, it really does take a while, and it loads the saw up quite a lot. I'd much prefer to do this job with a circular saw, but you know, it is getting through it. And yeah, as I said, not going to try this with the 10.8 because I'll be there all day and wouldn't be having any fun at all. Alright, so that wraps up the testing. Obviously these tools are for different markets. If you need to get into tight spaces, you need to get behind toilets, inside cupboards, things like that, this little 10.8 volt tool is pretty irreplaceable. It can do good work in such tiny spots. If you want to cut PVC pipes, not just electrical conduits, you want to cut sewer or stormwater pipes in tight spaces, this is going to be great. If you need to cut copper pipe behind sinks and things like that, this is going to be really valuable. So for plumbers and electricians who particularly in domestic kind of applications, need to get into tight spots, have a look at this 10.8 volt Sabre saw from Bosch. I do recommend, however, to go get yourself some high capacity batteries. It comes in a kit with slim batteries, which are great. They keep the weight down and they keep it really small. But if you want to do a lot of work with it, go get yourself a 4 amp hour high capacity battery, because not only are you going to get a lot longer run time, but you're also going to get more power out of the unit, which is always a bonus. So great little unit for those tidy little spots. The 18 volt tool can cut a lot of different size materials, but it obviously can't get in quite the same spaces. Having said that, it's still a compact one-hand unit that you can use at arm's reach, at awkward angles that you could never use a full-size premium reciprocating saw for. So it's still very versatile. If you want to be cutting reinforced, steel Rio, solid rod or bar, larger metal type things, or even just structural timber rather than moldings and small stuff, this is your tool. This is the one you want to go for. I think even carpenters and such who are having to, trying to cut down the end of rafters and cut the nails and things to take down pergolas, things like that, the weight and the length of this tool are going to be quite handy. So yeah, different markets. I wouldn't recommend buying the smaller one if you want to cut structural timber and large stuff, but for PVC and small metal tube and things like that, fantastic. One other thing that these tools are really good for is pruning. Whether you just want to prune small trees and shrubs and such in your own property, or even to take camping to cut up branches and stuff for kindling, they're really good for that. As you should know, using a circular saw to cut round timber is generally a bad idea. It's not particularly safe. These tools are made for it. They're fantastic. I didn't take any footage, but they're really good pruning tools. Get yourself an aggressive blade with a low teeth count, yeah, it will revolutionize your experience of gardening as well. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say. I hope you liked this review. If you did, please subscribe to the channel and tune in next time. Thanks a lot. Bye.